Hey guys, welcome back to another Teen Talks podcast. I'm your host Brian, and today we're going to be talking about the fear of the forest. So why are we afraid of the forest? Or at least what's it called? Because I have no idea. What do we even try with these things?
Xylophobia.
Is the rational fear of wooded areas. Also known as hylophobia. Seriously, who is coming up with these names? Anyways, xenophobia is also referred to and connected to other types of phobias. So, as said, such as animal fears, and also mainly or being alone. Other different fears can be spurred from going into the woods, and I mean there is also dendrophobia, which is the fear of trees. What is all of these other phobias? Megalophobia, a type of anxiety disorder in which a person experiences intense fear of large objects. Anemophobia, a mental illness in which individuals have extreme fear of strong air and winds. What are all these other phobias? Oh, hey, thalassophobia. That's something we're going to probably touch on in another podcast. But, oh my god, why are so many different phobias? I mean, there's so many other things to be scared of, but what are these names? What is that? Alright, at this point I need to talk with people who are in charge of naming these things, because it's getting out of hand. The woods. Why are we so afraid of them? Especially at night. I mean, I've already covered this in the Fear of the Dark episode, so, I mean, scared of the dark, scared of the unknown, scared of things in the dark. Mainly the things, especially with the things in the woods. I mean, being out in nature itself, being out in very unforgiving place where we're not in the sanctity of any shelters that we are too used to the environment around us in society these days, to where we do not require basic survival skills anymore, since we get everything from the markets, from buildings made to give us our necessities, all exchanged at the price of money, which is useless out in the forest. So being out in the woods is definitely terrifying, especially if you don't have a guide, if you're not on tour or anything. I mean, I wouldn't go hiking in America because private property, but also because not every place is supposed to be hiked. And there will be a lot of no hiking signs, so definitely do not hike anywhere. No places are free to hiking, unlike some other places in the world. This fear of the forest stems from mainly going out into Mother Nature and facing the various, probably insects, bugs, and creatures. We're not just afraid of the forest itself. It's everything contained within the word forest that we are afraid of. Other than the nightmare creatures, the actual living sentient creatures that surround us in Mother Nature, that are around in Mother Nature. I mean, we don't averagely see any insects or bugs in our world, other than, the dumpster places or any place that has overriding plants that are just left unmaintained, so plants and animals, pests get in. But, when's the last time you encountered a scorpion or snake? Unless you're a biologist or any in the field of biology, then you probably encounter them a lot. But other than that, experiencing society, we kind of lost this sort of categorization of us within the food chain, because out here in America, the likelihood of dying to wild animals pretty low compared to other countries. I'm not saying it's impossible. It is possible still, if you catch yourselves in the long neck of the woods at the wrong time. I'm not saying there aren't, almost any animal hungry enough could probably kill us. Going around, there was this story in the news where, what was it, two women went to the forest. This was in the US, by the way, but two women went into the forest without guides or anything, and they couldn't find them. And what's left of them to find was just scraps of their clothing, because most likely a tiger or bigger predator probably got to them. And it's this idea of being part of the food chain, that we are still most likely part of the food chain, even though we've distanced ourselves from it, that really captivates us. I mean, we're all gonna read Into the Wild eventually, or we've already have read Into the Wild. Nature isn't so forgiving per se, especially if you're not experienced, nor if you've done the research. I mean, the main rule going out in the forest, anyways, other than listen to your guide if you have one, is don't eat anything unless you for sure know it is edible. If you see an animal that's brightly colored or has some sort of needle that could probably poke you with, it's most likely venomous, and you probably want to stay clear of that. I mean, our fear of the forest itself stems from animals from the forest, so like snakes, other insects, or, scorpions. Pet peeve between people talking about poison and venom. People have been using poison for everything, and I know poison has been used interchangeably, but you're just wrong. Okay, you're just wrong. Poison is a toxin that gets into the body through consumption. Okay, like, or absorption through your skin, or maybe you inhale it, like poisonous gas, or like eating like food and getting food poisoning, eating like raw foods that give you food poisoning, or like poison ivy. That's why it's called poison ivy, because it gets through from your skin. That's why you should, if you don't know if something is poisonous out in the wild and you want to try and eat it, you probably want to rub it on your skin just to see if there's any irritation. Learned that from Bear Grylls or any other survival network channel out there. Um, Look, there's a difference between poison and venom. Venom is something that gets injected into you. So, like a snake biting you, a scorpion stinging you. A snake is only described poisonous if you're said eating said snake, okay? If a snake bit you, if a venomous snake bit you, then it has injected venom in you, and you need to go get help immediately. It doesn't help that it's called poison control, right? It's, you have to refer to poison control if you get bitten by a snake. It's, there's a distinction, and you need to get it right, because you're all wrong when you describe a snake as poisonous when you're not referring to it being eaten. Okay? But that fear is accentuated by the fact that we are not in our element. We are not in the human societies that we've made. And going back into the wild is where we are, is most unpredictable. I mean, threats of society aren't that problematic other than fellow humans, but you can expect what from a human? Other than if they're insane, but like, force itself, so many unknowns and variables that you have to keep in mind and track along your ways, to where, I mean, is camping out worth it anymore? Honestly, in camping places, I guess, designated camping areas, it's probably pretty well. I mean, I don't think going out with your RV is technically camping, but like camping in a tent, probably yes. However, think that, why do that? Why do that? I mean, most of us, at least, did sixth grade camp, and that was horrible. Spending a night in a tent in the field of your school isn't so great. I mean, being with people that I guess relieves some of that burden, but still not great. And me spending all my life sleeping in the bed, yeah, me sleeping during sixth grade camp when we did the overnight stay was not feasible, at least for me. I remember it now. I mean, all I remember from sixth grade camp was actually going on a field trip somewhere, I think, and then we got to go to the pool, and then we did the we ate spaghetti, and then we after that we spent the night in a tent. I did not sleep whatsoever. It was really cold. Probably not as cold as it is getting now recently with how cold it's been and the amount of rain. I mean, the rain is good since we're in a mega drought. We're not just in a drought, we're in a mega drought, apparently. But also, the flooding and the fact that walking down the side of my street when it was raining, literally a flood, like a river of water was rushing on the side of the curve where when I got out of my car, when I got picked up from my stop because it was pretty late when I got back from like an esports game from the school, like picked up right and like drive onto the curve where a house is. We get out onto the street on the side of the car that's facing the street because like there's a whole river. It's not like as wide as a river, but there's just a rushing stream down the curve of the amount of water because of the amount of rain there was. And I had to you could not walk over it. You had to physically, you could not lunge your way over it. You had to jump from the street to the sidewalk to avoid the stream of water that was rushing down the side of the curve. So that was great. I've been told to like extend this film just to have like, I mean, on average, all of my podcasts, these are videos, these are practically just videos, but they're like 10-ish minutes. I had a really long one with the advertisement one because there was so much to cover. Most of it was me just ranting, but you know, it's just me complaining. But I was told to extend this due to the given time. Good, so I don't know. Maybe I'll just do like a food review or something. French macarons. There's raspberry, peaches and cream, lemon and yuzu. What is yuzu? There's pistachio, blueberry, and intense chocolate. But I can't have the pistachio ones because I have a nut allergy, so yeah. Can't have this. Look, do I give ASMR? Look, even though, like, my podcast might have a ASMR voice, I try not to, because, like I'm recording this dead of night so that there isn't background sound from like my family and stuff. But I'm also not trying to scream with the top of my lungs and like disrupt my family. So I'm not doing ASMR because I don't like it, even though my podcast may be. I don't. Let's just start this. Raspberry one, pretty good. I'll give it an 8 out of 10 in flavor, pretty good. Peaches and cream, a little bit more of like an artificial tasting in peaches. Give it like a 4 out of 5. I wouldn't eat that again. What is yuzu? Lemon and yuzu. It's okay. Alright, blueberry. Oh yeah, for the lemon one, I'd give it like a 5 out of 10. Blue one, blueberry. Give it give it an 8 out of 10 again. It's pretty good. Would have both the blueberry and the raspberry one. And then intense chocolate. It is intense chocolate. I'd say it's like the best one out of all of these. 9 out of 10 for that one. Anyways, other than that, Finasco. Let's check out the games. Let's get to the end part of our uh, end part of our thing and talk about games. Um, Grounded is a good survival game involving nature. There's a bit of a twist on this because this is less of a horror game and more of just a fun survival game where you can play with a max of 4 players, or I think it might be 4 or 5. I have to check. Maybe even 6, but basically it's like Honey I Shrunk the Kids, but you're surviving in a world where you're minuscule, where you're just tiny in the backyard. So that's a pretty fun twist on it. It's not horror per se, like most of the games I recommend, but that's why we're moving on to the next one. Um, this has been out for a while now. The Forest, pretty good survival game, survival story game. You can play it with. It is multiplayer, so you can play with friends, and it is pretty horrifying aspects of horror in it, and your progression through it challenges the mentality of being a lone survivor in the forest. You basically survive a plane crash, and you or whoever you decide the main character is, among your friend group, lose your son, and you're trying to get him back, but you're also in a survival situation within said forest. Now, there are elements of horror. I won't spoil it, so you can go experience that for yourself. Again, all these games do have to pay for them, so um, there's not many free survival games, survival foresty games out there that are free. So at least not good ones, I don't think. Anyhow, next one is Sons of the Forest upcoming. Next one is the upcoming Sons of the Forest, the sequel to The Forest, and basically made by the same developer company, and Night Games, and it is currently in early access. You can buy the game now if you want, but soon it will be out, fully out, and you'll be able to experience it. It is a sequel to The Forest, so pretty fun there. Again, there are probably tons of survival games out there that you can play that involves the forest that I probably haven't mentioned. Just go search them up on Steam or any other gaming sites or websites that you can find them. I mean, Minecraft itself, I guess, is technically you have to survive in a forest. Several biomes along the way. There are forest biomes, of course, but it's mainly mining, so I don't say you survive in the forest perchance unless you decide to. And again, it's not too riveting of like the basics of Minecraft captures mainly climate change, and you're supposed to experience different biomes of the world, so it's not per se just forest. So honestly, like I played a lot of horror games, and like I I come back to Minecraft every now and then, right? Because I'm a Minecrafter. 10,000 hours plus on Minecraft. I will come back to it. 20,000 hours plus will be the new goal. Sent. I can only expand on it. But I still get jump scared by Minecraft somehow. I don't know why. Minecraft still jump scares me when it's not supposed to. It's mainly the cave noises that get me all the time, because those things are terrifying. I don't know why. Anyways, I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I'll see you guys later for the next Change Talk podcast. Peace.